and how we can solve this problem if it is possible once and for all. Thank you so much for joining us, Honorable Commissioner, sir.
Thank you very much. And good. I hope you can hear me very well.
Very well. We can hear you loud and clear. Could you give us a background to what has led to this crisis, this recent crisis in Jos? I mean, surrounding Jos North local government and the surrounding communities that have experienced heightened violence in the recent days.
Yes, well, like I said, in public domain, what has happened in Jos recently, but we want to give you the official position, and the official position is that there were people that were traveling from Utibe State. They went for a program, a religious program we learned, and on their way back to Ogun State, not Ogun, Ondo State. They were caught in between youths who mount them and kill scores of them, and as a result, we are where we are, puncturing the hard-earned peace that we are priding ourselves for on the plateau. And so the situation has been the state governor proactively impose a curfew on Jos South, Jos North, and Basa local government. And less than 24 hours after that, there was a lot of tension in Jos North local government particularly, and the state governor also swiftly moved in and imposed a 24-hour curfew on Jos North local government area for people that know Jos. So this crisis is in pockets of these three local governments. In fact, as a matter of fact, the crisis is not even in Jos South, but Jos South was also, the curfew was extended to Jos South because there are areas that you can, between Jos North and Jos South, there's a thin line. And so in order to be proactive and not to allow the situation to escalate, and that was why the decision was taken to also include Jos South. And the situation that is where we are right now. Yesterday there was security briefing on His Excellency, and the situation has been brought under control. There are measures that have been taken. Maybe we are going to look at this, what measures have been taken, but there are far-reaching measures that have been taken that has calmed the situation. And as I am talking to you, we have not had any incident between yesterday in the night and this morning.
All right, Honorable Commissioner, before we get into the measures that you have taken and what can be done to stop further attacks in Plateau State, we do know that even before this Saturday's attack, there have been several attacks, in communities, in these local governments. Some time ago, we had some honorable members from Plateau State who talked about their constituency and how people are being attacked in their homes at the middle of the night, by people who have been labeled unknown gunmen or whatever name they are called. And then it would appear, or it would seem as if the government has not done enough to ensure that there is no outburst, from people who feel they have been killed. Now, remember that this attack that happened on Saturday happened while people were going for mass burial of their people who have also died.
Yes, well, as a matter of fact, if we have to do comparative analysis, which some people don't want us to, but for different reasons, for reasons best known to them, but we must have a background. In the 6.5 years of the life of this administration, we have enjoyed a peace to an appreciable level compared to what it was before. Crises of this nature are as old as mankind, and so it is an unfortunate situation. Nobody is happy, no leader is happy about what is happening. Not to talk of His Excellency, the Governor of Plateau State, the Right Honorable Simon Bakola Long. Sometimes the crisis takes religious dimension, sometimes it takes political, sometimes it takes ethnic. But in this situation, it is none of the above. In this situation, it is purely an attack that was done by miscreants, and that is what happened. We don't want to, because there are news flying in the social media and even conventional media, naming communities as militia, which we as a government don't want to buy into that kind of discourse. But the unfortunate thing is that lives are being lost, properties are being lost, and we are being taken far backwards. And like as it is now, what we are supposed to be, the dividends of democracy we are supposed to be dishing to the people, is no longer. The funds have to be diverted to make sure that the peace is maintained. But we have put in institutions, like I said, for the past 6 years or 6.5 years, everybody who lives on the plateau knows that the situation has greatly improved, and it is our prayer that we'll be able to stop, if it was humanly possible, we'll be able to stop this. And I can assure you, it's because of the institutional framework which we have put in place. We came up with the Peace Building Agency, the first of its kind in the country, and we have we have strengthened our own semblance of community policing, which is called state policing, which is called Operation Rainbow. We have also employed about 3,500 youths as as constabularies, and have been sent to the 17 local governments to help in intelligence gathering and information gathering. And that has helped a lot. We have federal presence. We have been able to attract federal presence of the Nigeria Air Force station, Nigeria Air Force, and we have a Nigeria Air Force station at Kerang, for people that know Plateau State. We also have a full-fledged army barrack at Police Army Barrack at Shandam, and there's another one that is being planned for Kura Falls. So those are some of the far-reaching measures that we have taken as a government. Recently, we have provided vehicles in the past, and recently we provided 50 more Hilux vehicles and 200 motorcycles to make sure that all in a bid to make sure that we are peaceful in this state, and that has worked for us. And because of that, we are taking aback everybody, every well-meaning Nigerian Plateau State indigene is taking aback that these things are happening. But we are not resting on our oars as a government. We have a responsibility. The state governor has said on public television that he takes responsibility as the chief security officer of the state, and having sworn in to protect lives and property. But he can only do that to the extent to which the Constitution allows him to. Because everybody knows in this country that as a chief security officer of a state, you cannot even command the captain of the boys brigade, because it is a constitutional matter. You can only fund security, but you have a limit to how you can command the troops. And so that is why we are clamoring for, in some places, state police, but in Plateau State, community policing, so that we can have the vigilante, we can have all other groups to be brought on board, because everybody knows each other in Nigeria. In Plateau State, everybody knows each other.
All right, Mr. Manjang.
A step further to, in the past, arrest community leaders.
All right.
And they have been on bail, and as I talk to you, some people, some of those that have been on bail have been fingered to be masterminds of what is happening on the plateau. And this time around, we are going to deal with the situation decisively. And again, I know people will ask, well, you're sounding like a broken record. Yes, they are right to say that, because if you see a crime being perpetrated, it is because there has been no justice done, or justice has been delayed. And in this case, the governor has given marching orders to the security. The security is doing quite well on the plateau.
All right.
GOC
Mr. Manjang
has come out and has put up statements to assure that the situation will be brought under control, and it has. There are people that have been arrested in the past. They are arrested now. What people want to see is that they are taken to court and they are pronounced as guilty if they are proven to be guilty, and then
all right.
we take
Can you just pause a bit and take this question?
Like on the Plateau now, we have
Mr. Manjang,
land grabbing, because you were talking about land grabbing. We have an anti-land grabbing law. The authorities have to take charge. The governor cannot.
Honorable Commissioner, can you hear us?
Security would do, and the security cannot do what the judiciary would do. We have a law that has been signed by His Excellency, the Governor of Plateau State, on anti-kidnapping, which attracts death penalty. But as I am talking to you, nobody has been arraigned before the court of law, even though
from what you're saying,
suspects have been arrested.
Can you just pause a bit?
Want to see that when these arrests are made, they are taken to court, and the court judge, and if anybody is found guilty of kidnapping, of any other crime that has been stipulated under that law, and it is now left for whoever is going to apply those rules to make sure that the people get justice. All we are talking about is about justice.
All right.
Once people see that justice is delivered, they would be home. And above all, we must eschew
Mr. Manjang, just pause a bit and take
religion.
Good. The issue of justice is important, but let's hear from you. The people from these communities for the past 3 weeks or 4 weeks have been complaining of attacks in their communities. Did the state government receive any report from members of communities, affected communities, that they have been attacked, their crops have been destroyed, thousands of hectares of land have been taken over by suspected herdsmen? Did you receive that report as a state government from the community members?
Yes, we have been receiving those reports. We have been receiving reports from Riom, local government, where I come from. We have been receiving reports from Barkin Ladi, local government. We have been receiving reports from Basa local government.
What have you done about the reports you've been receiving? What have you done about them?
We are not dismissing them.
Yes. What have you done about those reports that you've been receiving?
Pardon?
What has the state government done about those reports? Those reports of attacks on communities, which you said the government has received.
Yes, these issues are being dealt with. They came recently, and in the interim, what we do as a government is to make sure that we look at we segment the solutions. One of the solutions is immediate. Look at what for people that have been displaced, for people whose farmlands have been destroyed. They are the solutions are segmented. Some will be short term, some will be long term. And unless the proper profiling is done, I want to assure people that whose farmlands have been destroyed, whose homes have been destroyed, that government will step in. We have the State Emergency Management Agency, which will also. We also appeal to the Federal Emergency Management Agency to step in. We have stepped in the past. We are stepping in now. We are calling on spirited individuals to also assist government, come to the aid of government.
Mr. Manjang,
nobody that is happy about what is happening.
Just a minute. As we sign off with you, could you hold on a bit?
The profiling is done. There's little or nothing you can do.
Mr. Manjang,
for those of the profiling that has been done that demands immediate solutions, we are addressing that. The Deputy Governor, Professor Sonny Gwanle then is the one chairing the State Emergency Management Authority.
Mr. Manjang, can you hear us? Okay, just before we let you go, Mr. Manjang,
play games when it comes to matters like that. It's an elder statesman.
Honorable Commissioner. Okay, we actually wanted to find out from the Honorable Commissioner, if you can see here us, whether these attacks in these communities, which you said you've been getting reports on, were they not heinous enough for the state government to at least impose a curfew at that time to stop people from, being killed and their, farmlands being taken over. But we have other people joining us now via Zoom who will
react to this. Just give him briefly a moment to respond
to this, right?
And also, as you respond to that, did you identify who these persons attacking those communities, including your community, Riyam, and other places, Miyangi communities in Jos North? Did you identify who these persons are?
In recent times, like I told you in the past, there are people that have been arrested, community leaders have been arrested, and they are being prosecuted.
Are community leaders attacking their own communities?
Levels of prosecution.
Are community leaders attacking their own communities? Because what the community members are saying, most of them are saying that the people attacking their communities and sacking them from their farmlands are, foreign herdsmen, armed herdsmen that have been synonymous with those who have been attacking communities in elsewhere in the Middle Belt.
Excuse me. You see, that is where the problem lies. It is very difficult for you to, at this moment, without referring to the judiciary, to the courts, to be able to say. All what we are saying as a government is that His Excellency, in the past we used to say unknown gunmen, but the governor has said no, it is not possible. These people are not spirits, they are human beings. That was why the community leaders were arrested. There was an order given by the governor to say that anywhere an attack is done, anywhere the crime is performed, the community leaders should be arrested, and then, because certainly they are from communities. And if you don't know them, then if there are stranger elements among them, these stranger elements would easily be found out. And so, as a matter of fact, when you begin to label people without getting to the root cause of it, then you might.
So on that score,
proven beyond reasonable doubt, we agree it is people that are doing this, but we wouldn't want to label people as a government at this point in time.
On that score, you would also disagree with the statement by the police over the attack that happened on Saturday, that it was suspected Uruguay youths that attacked the bus and which killed 21 people. You also disagree with that statement?
That was very, very hasty. Whoever said that is hasty. If you heard the Commissioner of Police in his briefing yesterday said it was miscreant, it would be hasty for anybody to jump into conclusion and say it was Uruguay youth. And in fact, it's very derogatory. Some people have started naming the Uruguay as militia, which is we as a government do not share in that kind of sentiment. We wait for the profiling, we wait for the decision that has been taken. If it is taken by the low courts, we go by it. Whatever the courts say is what we will work with. But at this point, if something happens and then you begin to level people as a government, we don't share in that kind of sentiments. All we are saying is that we want peace on the plateau. We don't want name calling. If youths are found culpable, they should be dealt with according to the law. If other ethnic nationalities are found culpable, they should be dealt with in accordance with the law. But it is hasty, and to be able to begin to label people and say it is Fulani that have done this, it is Uruguay that has done this, it is Birom that have done this, when you have not gotten to the bottom of the root course of the matter.
Many would ask, Honorable Commissioner, how long will it take for investigation to be concluded? Because for all we know, this attack in Plateau didn't start today, and it has continued even under your government. So many people are asking, will it take you a whole year to find out who the people who are killing are? Otherwise, there will never be peace, and the killings will continue. But we leave you there, and we do hope that the killings would stop, because we are even hearing from our correspondent in Plateau State this morning that there has been reprisal attack, in some of those communities.
Yeah, about 3 students killed.
Could you confirm that about 3 students from University of Jos have been killed already? Could you confirm that to us, please, before you go?
University of Jos?
Yes. That about 3 students have been killed.
As this morning, I don't have any information, but that we'll find out. And if I do find out that there are reprisal attacks at the University of Jos, we'll put it in the public domain. I can assure you that.
Mr. Manjang, I want to say thank you so much, Commissioner for Information.